From a study from Statistics About Rape and the National Sexual Violence Research Center, rape is the most underreported crime. 63% of sexual assaults are not reported to police. 1 in 71 men and 1 in 5 women will be raped at some point in their lives. Well, how do you like your odds? These facts paint us as a statistic, like a game of Russian roulette that we all play even if we don't know it. Every one of us will be affected by rape and rape culture and sexual violence at some point in our lives, whether through our personal experience or that of friends, family, colleagues. But there is a way to change that. Today, I will be talking with you all about what rape culture is, why and how it has occurred, and what we can do to stop it. But first things first, what is rape culture or even rape? Rape is sexual intimacy without consent. It is a violation of someone's being in the most personal of ways. In 2011, York University held a slut walk organized by the students. This was caused by a member of their police force saying, and I quote, "Women should avoid dressing like sluts in order to not be victimized," end quote. In response to this, students took signs, and men and women alike marched down the street holding signs saying, "How I dress does not mean yes." Even one of them, a woman in a burqa, holding a sign saying, "My burqa did not prevent me from being raped." Stuff like this and toxic sayings are perfect examples of rape culture at its finest. Rape culture is the societal way of thinking that normalizes rape, promotes sexualization, and victim blaming. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I did not have the best sexual education. But I do remember in 5th grade family life, our teacher sitting us down and saying that every time we have sex, a part of yourself goes to that other person, and you can't get that part back. So, it's like this. Imagine that you are this piece of paper, and you had sex, and you had sex again. Now you might wonder, what happens if you run out of paper? I asked that question myself, but I didn't get an answer. Thank you. They told 10-year-olds, sex is sacrifice. It's your choice, your decision, your fault for the outcome. But what about the people who didn't have one, a choice that is? You don't really get those kind of answers in 5th grade. Now you might wonder, how did this happen? How did this way of thinking even reach our schooling system? Well, it starts from toxic gender roles. It paints men and women in their own corners, men as these terrifying beasts full of testosterone and feel no pain, women as shy, timid, weak, and easily to be taken advantage of. Taken from, the fact is men can be raped, and this is taken from Feminism, Masculinity, and Male Rape, Bringing Male Rape Out of the Closet by Josiah Alvarez in 2015. In a culture that emphasizes male superiority, power, and control, subordination or powerlessness are unacceptable. Men who report rape may be viewed as less of a man for not fighting off their perpetrator. When you're told your entire life that your gender has to make you a certain way and you can't admit vulnerability or pain or your gender will be stripped from you, it's no wonder that men do not report rape, at least as not much as women do. And even then, women don't report rape, as it is 63% that goes unreported to police. Another way that rape culture has occurred is confusion over consent. Some people don't realize that consent is not clear when you are intoxicated, like in the case of Indiana University, as reported by New York Daily News by Christopher Brennan just a few days ago. At Indiana University, a fraternity member raped 2 women, one of which had lacerations to her genitals. And yet, the rapist got off with a year probation for what in Indiana counts as a 16-year felony. Why? Well, his supporters blame drinking. Now, you might think, okay, what's the point? How can we change this? Well, the solution is simpler than you think. Now, as you know, my sexual education was not the best. It came, aside from my teacher's wondrous advice, in the form of an 80s video about the joys of your period. I learned nothing about consent or healthy relationships or what to do when someone else is ready, but you're not. The fact is, most rapes are done by people the victim knew, whether it be partners, friends, or even family. What counts is teaching the next generation about rape culture and spotting toxic viewpoints, emphasis on consent, knowing your boundaries. Through awareness and through knowledge, we will thrive. Our next generation is so important. Teaching them means preserving the future. We're all affected by sexual violence and rape culture, but that doesn't mean we have to take it. Speak up. Know your boundaries and know your limits, and don't let others silence you. I asked you all earlier if you liked your odds, if you liked being a statistic. Well, now I'm going to ask you another question. Are you going to sit and count your odds, or are you going to do something about it?